What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a new video. Today, I'm going to be doing a quarterback ranking for you guys. I do have two honorable mentions before we start. I would like to mention D'Eriq King, the quarterback out of Miami. As a quarterback, I think he might potentially be the worst one in the draft, honestly. But the thing with D'Eriq King that's really interesting is that he's played wide receiver in college. He's caught touchdowns. He had a kick return touchdown. There is a potential for D'Eriq King to be a gadget player in the NFL. He has wide receiver and kick returner flex. He doesn't do anything amazing as a quarterback. He is intelligent and he's athletic, and he's a very competitive kid. I say kid lightly because he will be 25 years old going into his rookie season. He doesn't have the size to play quarterback at the next level. He wasn't very good against good competition. His play recognition isn't very good. As a quarterback, probably undraftable. But if you see him potentially being a wide receiver, kick returner, flex kind of guy, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in like the 7th round. I do have a undrafted grade on him, but I feel like he's at least worth mentioning. Very interesting that he can be a receiver if you need him to, or kick returner. Kind of a wide receiver turned quarterback kind of guy. Freak athlete. So, another honorable mention is Dustin Crum, the quarterback out of Kent State. You could probably interchange him with number 10 and number 9 if you wanted to. He's a great decision maker. He looks off second level defenders really well. He can throw under pressure, and he's really good at breaking sacks. The thing with him, though, his release is kind of slow. His throws don't really have much speed behind them either, which gives linebackers and corners time to cut underneath. He doesn't really have a deep ball either, and he presets his throws. Like, he doesn't really go through progressions too well. He knows his gut. Like, his processing in that way is not great. That's probably it. Just wanted to talk about those two before I got into my top 10. Coming in at number 10, though, we have Jack Cohn, the quarterback at Notre Dame. He has really good poise. He has great size. His technique is nice, and his arm strength is also a big part of his game. Has an absolute cannon of an arm. The issues with Jack Cohn, though, honestly, are lengthy. He isn't amazing at throwing outside of the numbers. He doesn't really have touch on his deep ball. He tends to underthrow receivers. He's not amazing at looking off defenders either. He kind of presets his throws with his eyes. He tends to kind of lob the ball up under pressure, which leads to a lot of interceptions. He's not amazing at reading defenses, which is probably the most common knock on quarterbacks going to the next level, is they don't really know how to read a defense yet. So, not the biggest deal in the world, but I have an undrafted grade on Jack Cohn and Dustin Crum. I forgot to mention that. So, coming in at number 9, honestly, very close to Jack Cohn, is Brock Purdy, the quarterback out of Iowa State. Unlike Jack Cohn, Brock Purdy is really good at looking at reading progressions, and he doesn't set his eye on one wide receiver as soon as the ball is snapped. Much like Jack Cohn, he has really good poise. He's accurate within the numbers. He's a very confident quarterback, extremely competitive. He's a tough guy, kind of that Josh Allen type, where he constantly fights for yards, which is huge. A lot of teams don't really like that out of their quarterbacks just due to injury, but as a guy that might be seen as a career backup going into this draft, it's a really good feat to have. Now, the issues with Brock Purdy, he's kind of slow through his progressions. His operation's kind of slow. He doesn't really throw the ball into tight windows. He doesn't even really throw the ball into tight windows. He holds onto the ball a lot longer than I think he should, and his consistency isn't amazing. He also hasn't seen a ton of top competition at Iowa State. I also have an undrafted grade on Brock Purdy. Now, coming in at number 8, we have Caleb Ellaby, the quarterback out of Western Michigan. Caleb Ellaby has amazing arm strength. His arm strength is great. His accuracy short is also really good. He's one of these guys that a lot of teams say that he has a very high ceiling. A lot of potential with Caleb Ellaby if you can get it out of him. He's not overly amazing at one thing. As a quarterback, his mobility isn't great. His footwork isn't great. He doesn't really seem to have a presence in the pocket. As the pocket collapses, sometimes he kind of looks helpless and stays there. His deep to mid accuracy also leaves a lot to be desired. I do have a later round grade on Caleb Ellaby, though. I think a team will take a chance on him, maybe in like the 6th or 7th round, and I think that's probably about where I would value him. Coming in at number 7 on our board, we have Bayley Zapp, the quarterback out of Western Kentucky. He has really good accuracy and really good processing, which is nice. Unlike Caleb Ellaby, he has a really good pocket presence and knows how to collapse a pocket. The big thing with Bayley Zapp is his arm strength isn't amazing, and he's not the most athletic quarterback in the world. He also, coming out of Western Kentucky, hasn't seen the best competition in the world. I think he's definitely a guy that should be gone by like the 6th or 7th round, just like Caleb Ellaby. Arm strength, though, is going to be something that needs to be improved if he's going to succeed at the next level. Now, coming in at, 6th? Coming in at number 6, we have... No, 7, my bad. Take that back. I'm lost here. Coming in at number 7, we have Desmond Ritter. Probably the biggest surprise going through my grading process was Desmond Ritter. I thought I was going to be a lot higher on Desmond Ritter. You can even make a case that he should be lower than he is, I think. I'm not big on Desmond Ritter at all. I think for me, he has a 6th round grade. He's an amazing leader coming out of Cincinnati. He has poise. His arm strength is also really good. And obviously, he's an athletic guy, which are all huge things for quarterbacks. But there's just so many issues with Desmond Ritter. He's not very consistent. His mechanics aren't great. He kind of presets his throws too. He doesn't really go through his progressions too well. He also had a ton of batted balls in college, which is interesting, and he was not very good against top competition at Cincinnati. So there's a lot to be desired out of Desmond Ritter. Certainly, I don't think he's a first-round guy, and a lot of people say that he might slip in. I don't think so. I just don't think Desmond Ritter is anything more than a career backup at the next level, which is disappointing to say the least, because I thought I really liked Desmond Ritter going into my scouting process, and I just don't think I see it out of him. I think he's probably worth a 6th, 5th round grade, 5th or 6th, and I'm sure he'll go sooner than that just due to athleticism and whatnot. Now, coming in at number 6, right, 6, yeah, Carson Strong, out of Nevada. He's another guy that going into the recruiting process I really liked. And I think he's a guy that probably has like a 4th round grade for me. I'm not too sure. 4th seems about right where I would value Carson Strong, like early 4th. He's another one of those quarterbacks that has amazing arm strength. His mid to short accuracy is also very good. He seems to make decisions He seems to make decisions very well. Doesn't really make errant throws or anything like that. He's not the best athlete in the world, though. His poise sometimes leaves a lot to be desired. He's not very mobile. He hasn't really seen top-tier talent, and he can't really throw on the run. He's another one of those guys that doesn't really do anything amazing. His arm strength is amazing. But other than that, I think Carson Strong leaves a lot to be desired. I think he could be like a back-tier starter in the NFL, maybe. Most likely a career backup, though, Probably a pretty decent backup, though. So I think he's definitely worth about a 4th, 5th round grade. Yeah, like an early 4th for Carson Strong. Coming in at number 5, right? Yeah, coming in at number 5. No, 4, my bad, right? I'm lost. Coming in at number 4, we have Sam Howell out of North Carolina. Honestly, I didn't think that. I thought Carson Strong and Desmond Ritter were going to be higher than Sam Howell on my board. But going through the scouting process, I was honestly pleasantly surprised by Sam Howell. He has very good mobility, a lot better than I thought I was going to see out of him. His deep accuracy is really nice, and he has amazing arm strength, which is a great combination to have. He doesn't have the best footwork in the world. His pocket presence also isn't amazing. His short to medium accuracy isn't great. He also, much like a lot of these other guys, hasn't really seen top talent to this point in his career. He also regressed heavily from his sophomore to junior season. So we'll see if that holds any weight. Going into last year, I'm pretty sure he was a Heisman favorite and ended up being a backup. So a lot to be desired as a Sam Howell that hasn't been seen yet. A lot of teams are probably banking on the potential of Sam Howell rather than what we've seen to this point. I think he's definitely worth like a late 3rd round grade, though. He's pretty close to Carson Strong, I would say. I'd give him like a late 3rd. He's another guy that could potentially be a low-tier starter in the NFL. There's probably a better chance than Carson Strong. Most likely, he's a pretty good backup at the next level, and only that. I can't wait to be completely wrong on all these, by the way. Now, there are 3 quarterbacks in this class that I consider to be pretty high above the rest. And coming in at number 3, we have Matt Corral out of Ole Miss. Matt Corral has surprisingly good athletic ability. His arm strength is also very, very good. He doesn't have a ton of issues, honestly. He kind of does everything good but not great. He's a pretty well-rounded quarterback overall. He's not amazing at throwing on the run. Sometimes his decision-making is not good. But for the most part, Matt Corral is good at everything but not amazing. I think Matt Corral will probably be a back-tier starter in the NFL. I don't think any quarterback in this class is day one ready, but he's probably closer than a lot of these other guys. And I do think eventually he should be a starter in the NFL, but probably a back-tier starter that isn't like a franchise guy by any means. Coming in at quarterback number 2, we have Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I think out of all the quarterbacks in this class, by far, I think Kenny Pickett is the closest to being day one ready. If you're looking for a quarterback that can step in and start this year, which I don't think you should be, by the way, I think teams should probably look to pass on quarterbacks this year because next year's class is going to be really good. Right now they're saying that there's 5 early first-round guys at the quarterback position in next year's draft. So I don't think you should be looking for a quarterback that's going to be day one ready, but Kenny Pickett is a lot closer than everybody else in my opinion. He's a very athletic guy. His arm strength is really good. He can throw on the run really well. He's just like Matt Corral. He's not amazing at any one thing, but he's also not overly bad at anything. He's a pretty well-rounded quarterback. Sometimes his short to mid accuracy can leave some to be desired. His poise also is something that isn't amazing. And although he's an athletic guy, he's not really mobile in the pocket, if that makes any sense. Like when the pocket is collapsing, he cannot find a way out of it. He's not very good at escaping the pocket when he needs to, even if he is an athletic guy. I didn't mention it for Matt Corral, I don't think. I have probably a late second round grade on Matt Corral. But Kenny Pickett, I think, will be a starter at the next level. I don't think the best starter in the world, or probably, if I had to compare him to anybody, probably a Sam Darnold type. I don't think he's phenomenal at anything. He has the potential to be good. I think him and Malik Willis have the potential to be good. I think they're really the only two that I could see being great. But Kenny Pickett, you're getting a guy that's probably going to be a fringe starter at the next level. I think he could, more likely than not, he's going to be an average quarterback at the next level, which isn't a bad thing. And I think he'll definitely be a starter. I have an early second round grade, probably about a mid second round grade on Kenny Pickett. I like Kenny Pickett a lot. I'm sure he'll go, and I think him and Malik Willis are the two guys that I would value as a first round guy, even though I don't have a first round grade on any quarterback in this class, really. I think they're both, even if they don't have first round grades, they're worth a first round pick because they're quarterbacks. And then coming in at number 1, Malik Willis, the quarterback out of Liberty. It took me a while to warm up to Malik Willis. I wasn't very high on him at all going through my scouting process. But as I sat down and really thought about it, I do think he's the best quarterback in this class. I think he's pretty close to Kenny Pickett. I don't think they're like worlds apart or anything. Malik Willis has really good arm strength, and he has an amazing scramble ability and is... Ignore that. That was my mail. By all means, he is an athletic guy, like extremely athletic. The thing with Malik Willis that I worry about is, unlike Kenny Pickett, who you kind of know what you're going to get out of Kenny Pickett, I guess. Like Kenny Pickett's floor is a lot higher than Malik Willis's, but Kenny Pickett's ceiling is also a lot lower. Malik Willis, more so than any player I think I've ever scouted, has an amazing ceiling. The ceiling for Malik Willis is probably a top 5 quarterback at the next level, but his floor is so low. Malik Willis's floor really is like a backup at the next level. There's so many variables to Malik Willis, and you have very little clue as to what you're going to get. He has an amazing arm strength. He can scramble really well. He's an athlete, probably he will be one of the most athletic quarterbacks in the NFL. But there's so many technical issues with Malik Willis too. Like, he doesn't read defenses really well. Even though he's athletic, he's not amazing at avoiding sacks. His deep accuracy is not very good, and he, like I said, is a very, very boomer bust kind of player. So I'm sure he'll be the first quarterback off the board, and it's just a team taking a chance on a guy, really, that could be... I think more so than anybody, he could be that franchise guy. He's the only guy here, I think, that could be a franchise quarterback. Kenny Pickett, I think, could potentially be a really good starter, but I don't know if he could be a franchise guy. Malik Willis could be that guy, which is why he's quarterback 1 for me. I have a late first round grade on Malik Willis, maybe an early second, but I'd say a late first round grade on Malik Willis. He's player 34 on my board currently, if that means anything. And I've scouted probably 110, 115 players. So, Malik Willis, quarterback 1 in the class for me, although I don't think he's too far off from Kenny Pickett. And like I said, I don't think any of these quarterbacks are amazing. He's player 34 as quarterback 1. So, but yeah, I thought I'd get this video out really quick for you guys. I might do another ranking. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see how quickly I can get the rest of my scouting done before I make my top 100 board. More likely than not, we might be looking at just a top 100 board coming out next. I do have, I think, 2 more mock drafts that are going to come out, so that should be fun. My final mock draft is always fun. I do 7 rounds. I'll probably only show like 2, I think, but I always do a 7-round mock draft like the night before the draft. So anyways, I hope everybody is having a phenomenal start to the spring, I guess, even though it's almost May. For all you guys that are going through school and getting ready to end, congratulations to making it to this point. Hopefully you guys aren't too stressed out about finals or anything like that. And I will see you guys in the next video of whatever I make. Peace.